CPR.
Then we have a gunshot wound and we have an amputated limb.
Stop the bleed training. Overdose prevention. These are just some of the services that we responders offer. Resources that founder Nicole Bryan wishes there were more of when she lost family members of her own.
I lost both of my nephews, one to natural causes and one to a fentanyl overdose.
Her nephew Tyler was just 1 year old.
Just breathing the fumes in and around, and he OD'd. To have him lose his life before it started.
That's why Nicole founded the nonprofit in 2022.
Initially, I got certified just for my family. And then I realized that it was a need in our city.
Where every second counts.
If we know how to respond, we don't have to wait that 10, 15-minute gap for the paramedics to arrive.
But in 2024, time stopped and grief struck again, this time Nicole's father.
He was everything. If I removed his addiction, he was the perfect person.
He died of a fentanyl overdose.
That pain gave me some type of fire. And I think it's to keep me going so that I don't never soak in it. But losing him, that was my best friend. Like, my dad was my best friend. That was like my ace boon. Like, we did life together.
She took a hold of that pain and created new programs, including mental health resources.
I looked at other ways to help kids that was once me, that still is me. He was introduced to drugs at a young age. He lost his mom, and at the time, mental health wasn't there. He didn't have the support he needed. And I remember him explaining to me that he did it for pain, but that opened up another level that he could never get off his back, right? So he did it to soothe something, and it took over his whole life. And unfortunately, he didn't beat the odds.
Data from the Maryland Department of Health shows that there were 1,553 fatal overdoses reported last year, which is a 38% decrease from 2023. However, disparities persist in minority communities, specifically for Black men.
Something had to be done. Every class I start, every class I teach, I'm gonna live through that memory because that's my why.
Using a lot of her own money, Nicole has built this program from the ground up, applying for grants and recruiting volunteers eager to mentor and train.
80% of my partners are children of addicts. Everybody's parents didn't make it out and some did. And these kids need to hear our stories, and they need to know that don't let that break you because it didn't break us.
They focus in underserved communities where Nicole says access to emergency response training is limited.
I had a partner who said if I knew this, I could have saved my son. I had worked with kids who cried in the middle of a training. I was down at the University of Baltimore, and the little boy said, if I'd have known this 2 weeks ago, I'd have saved my cousin. He died in front of me.
Nicole gets emotional thinking about what her dad would say about the work she's doing in Baltimore.
His fight was for my purpose. I felt like the fight that he did all those years was so that I could be who I'm supposed to be.
And on Saturday, they're holding their Fight Against Opioid Youth Summit. They're partnering with Rich Restoring Inner City Hope, which is a nonprofit by the owners of Rich Juice Bar. There's going to be panel discussions, on-site trainings, and more. You can head to our website for all the details. Carol Burnett, WMAR 2 News.